Hi guys, is it possible to run multiple linear regression in SPSS only in 1 minute? Sure, I proved this for you. In this dataset, I have 30 participants with 3 independent variables named age, Celsius, and exercise, with only one dependent variable named blood pressure. Okay, now I start timer and show this for you. Okay, go! Analyze regression, linear, dependent variables, independent variables. Click on statistics, click on confidence interval, collinearity, Durbin-Watson's, click on plot, Z prod as X, Z resid as Y, histogram, normal probability plots, continue, save on a standardized Cook's distance, continue, and click on OK. Now we see that 70% of variation in dependent variables was explained with independent variables. Durbin-Watson indicated independent observations, analysis of variance tables indicated significant models, and we have 3 independent variables that 2 of them is significance and residuals indicates that there is a normal distributions. Okay, finish.
Welcome to our modern class. In this 1 minute tutorials, I prove that I can run multiple linear regressions only in 1 minute. But one question, is it true? Is it a full scientific report? Surely not. Regressions, as another statistical methods, need to be checked about assumptions. For example, independent observations, multicollinearity, normal distributions, and some another things. Then I start and run multiple linear regressions as a full report in SPSS with interpret tables, interpret assumptions, check assumptions, and interpret coefficients of variables. Okay, I'm Dr. Shahmirzalou, PhD in biostatistics, and in these tutorials I run multiple linear regressions full. Then, if you have not followed our modern YouTube channels, please press subscribe and notification buttons to be notified about new tutorials. Now, let's go to training.
Okay guys, to run full and complete linear regressions, I explains another times variables in the data sets. We have age in years, Celsius in gram per day, exercise in minutes per week, and systolic blood pressures. If you want to download and use these datasets, I paste a link of these datasets in GitHub in Amazon GitHubs, and you can click on links and download these datasets to run another times. Okay, to run multiple linear regressions, another time we go to these paths, means analyze regressions and linear. Click on resets and click on blood pressure as dependent variables. Click on age and press shift, click on exercise to select more than one variable. Then drag these two displays for independent variables. Now go to statistics and click on confidence intervals to report confidence interval for coefficients of regressions. Click on descriptives, click on collinearity diagnosis to check multi-collinearity between independent variables. Click on Durbin-Watson and continue. In plots, you can set to plot x-axis as z pred, y-axis as z resid, and click on histogram, normal probability plots, and continue. And save, it's necessary to save residuals and Cook's distance and click on continue. In options, we don't have anything to click, and now click OK to see reports. Reports is this. In this report, we see that there is some tables and there is a submenu named charts. Okay, regression has five important assumptions, and I list here all of them. First assumptions is independent observations, means every observation is independent and uncorrelated with before and after observations. Second is that errors, regression errors or residuals have normal distributions. Third, residuals have a constant variance. Four, residual varied randomly. And five, there is not serious multicollinearity. Now I run multiple linear regressions and I set some of these assumptions in menu, and another I select some plots to survey these assumptions. Now let's go to SPSS report. Okay, first of interpret tables, I want to check about assumptions, then come here and interpret tables and especially coefficient of regressions. To check about assumptions, the first assumptions we check is about independent observations. In model summary tables, we have a columns named Durbin-Watson's, and if a Durbin-Watson value is varied between 1.5 to 2.5, we can conclude that independent observations is true. And now we have a 2.17's value for Durbin-Watson's. Another assumption is multicollinearity. In a coefficients tables, there is in the columns named VIF, and if VIF value is near to 1, we can assume that our independent observations have not serious multicollinearity, and now for our regressions is similar to this. For normal distribution of residuals, here in residual statistics tables, mean over these residuals is 0, and histogram plots indicated that residuals have normal distributions. For constant variance of residuals, you need to go to these plots, and now you see that standardized residuals versus a predicted value indicate residuals that have constant variance, means varied between -1 to 2 numbers. But to check about the last assumptions, means random residuals, it's need to go to graph chart builders and set a line plots as this, with x-axis as ID and unstandardized residuals as y-axis. Then click on OKs, and now you see that residuals varied for participants randomly. And now we can conclude that all of assumptions for our models is valid and is assumed. So now we can go to interpret tables.